The Chiefs season comes to an end, 27-24 to the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime, AFC Championship game. Mitch, I appreciate your time. I suppose there's going to be two plays that are going to be talked about from this game more than any other. The first one was the second and goal at the 1. Right before the half, instead of kicking a field goal, go to Tyreek Hill in the flat. I suppose I kind of have the conservative blood from Coach Snyder in me a little bit, and maybe I'd kick the field goal, but I know hindsight's 20/20, but did you like the call?
Well, let's just look at it from a Bill Snyder point of view here. The caveat to me in go ahead and kick the 3 and fans boo saying you're not aggressive is the fact that on the first down play, after the defensive pass interference, there's only 9 seconds left, Mitch. When you have 9 seconds in the National Football League and you have no timeouts remaining, you're not only playing the Bengals in whatever play call you have. If you have any offensive penalty once the ball is snapped, it doesn't matter if you score. It's going to be a 10-second runoff. To me, the caveat there would be, hey, it's going to be a runoff. There's too many bad things that can happen, and we can keep momentum right where it's at. Just kick the 3 because we've come down here in less than a minute after their 41-yard screen to Pirine and say we go in the locker room. If nothing else, it's just even from a psychological standpoint. As it stood, that play, and we know now that I don't think that was Pat Conley's play, although he's taken the bullet for it. Patrick is. But I think that single play not only lifted Cincinnati, but it affected the Chiefs in the second half, especially Patrick. But I'm not going to blame Patrick here. I got a Super Bowl ring that I never thought I would ever have because of that dude. So that's my thought on it. But with a 10-second runoff, with no timeouts, 9 seconds. Honestly, Mitch, hindsight is the worst thing that happened was getting the defensive pass interference call in the end zone. Because now you're at the 1. You're 36 inches away, but you're going to have 9 seconds and no timeout. But we're only a yard away. That almost became a detriment. Instead of going, let's just kick the 3, we get the ball, then go down and kick another 3 and eat 6 minutes off, and you're up 3 possessions. And Cincinnati has lost the psychology, and they're running out of time.
Well, usually it doesn't matter if you're second and goal of the 1 or with 10 seconds to go or whatever it was, or if you're at your own 45 and it's 4th and 3. Yeah, 9. So Patrick Mahomes is always going to want to go for it. He's the one that loves to be aggressive. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, did it just feel, especially in the second half, that Mahomes was just a touch off of his game?
Well, okay, like movie reference here. You know the other guys, the funny movie, really. All right. Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock were aggressive, too, jumping off the building.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's just, hey, being aggressive, I charge the hill. Wait a minute, it's a machine gun right there. Oh, okay, but you're aggressive. Well, no, you're not effective anymore. So I'm all about being aggressive. And with that, and with Patrick, you get the wasp. Again, I got a Super Bowl ring. But in this instance, think through it, boys. Think through it. 9 seconds, it's a runoff. There's 100 things that can happen wrong. Just kick the 3, and we get the ball. So, okay, that being said, now, I forget your question, it was off a tick in the second half. Give Cincinnati credit. They did a few things. They're getting too much credit, though, like, hey, they dropped 8. Wow, that was the most genius thing they ever did. Well, they didn't do it on every snap. And quite honestly, guys, the Chiefs had 2nd and 6. The interception where he threw it to the defensive lineman Hill was 2nd and 3. 2nd and 6, and 2nd and goal to go at the 4 to win the game. Those were the downs and the plays that were the second biggest factor in losing this game. The Chiefs were winning on first down. So it wasn't like Cincinnati was like, man, it was the greatest defense ever. It was Tampa Bay in Super Bowl 55. No, but the Chiefs struggled in executing on second and medium or short.
Speaking with the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in my opening there, I talked about 2 plays that the fans have been talking about the most. I would say the other one would be right before the end of regulation, before Butker kicked the field goal to tie it up, go to OT. You have Patrick Mahomes takes the snap, and fans were saying, Travis Kelce was open. You had Byron Pringle open middle of the end zone, and Mahomes ends up taking a sack. I mean, is that the play for Mahomes? If you're him, you're probably having some nightmares about it. It's that one play you're going to be thinking about the most during the offseason?
Well, I think it's several. He had the pepperoni pizza at 2 a.m. Okay, the play before the half sets this whole sequence off because he cares so much. He cares so much about the guys, and he's putting it on himself. Here's the other thing. Dana Hughes had a good point, not on the air that day, but later yesterday when I was talking to him on another show, was the fact that you had 13 minutes to think about it. Now, Patrick's better if it's like, dude, you're right back out there. Man, go for it. Yeah, okay, I got to forget it. But this was 13 minutes, and realizing how big that play was. Patrick is that smart, and he cares enough about his team that if indeed coach said, hey, let's just kick it. No, I can do it. All right, go for it. And then you didn't do it. Now you're feeling like you let everybody down. That's the way Patrick's wired, and I admired it in him. It's the reason we won 12 games a year for 4 straight years, which is third in NFL history. All right? So, but, I just think it affected Patrick's psyche the rest of the game. And in that one, he wants to make a play, but he almost lost the ball. I mean, we had to jump on the ball. We're not even going to get the field goal to go to overtime. But it was just off a tick. Cincinnati did a good job, made a few adjustments, but it wasn't the 85 Bears. Chiefs didn't execute on second down and short, maybe run, or at least show run formation, because people were moaning about the second down with Kelsey not being on the field on second and goal at the 4. Well, now they were showing the possibility of a run and powering it in. So Cincinnati had to think run here. But you got to make teams think run, and that's even putting like one back in the backfield. There were several times the Chiefs were empty on those second down and 6s that ended up being, hey, we'll just drop the guy. So, yeah, there's 1,000 things to think about, but I'm staying with this team and staying with this quarterback.
Sorry if I put you on the spot with this next question, but now that it's the postseason, you start thinking about free agents and who Kansas City is able to keep around. As far as I understand, there's a bunch of free agents out there when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, and who could
about 2 dozen, just if you want to know.
Yeah, quite a few.
A lot.
Do you have a feeling on who Kansas City might try to keep around, or maybe those that there's really no chance to keep around because the price tag's too high?
No, but the high degree of confidence that I've got in Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I have that in Brett Veach and his staff. It's such a good infrastructure. Guys, think about it. 9 years, winning seasons every year, 6 straight division championships, and they've already set NFL records in a couple of instances. Okay, answer your question. The Chiefs are top-heavy against the cap. We know who the parties are here. Frank Clark, Anthony Hitchens, Tyrann Mathieu. Some say Orlando Brown Jr., but Orlando Brown Jr., where he's at in years of service, and the fact that I thought he made drastic improvement throughout the season in his pass blocking. He's a great run blocker. And this offensive line showed some excellent camaraderie in moving forward throughout the season. So you can franchise him, even work on a long-term deal, but you franchise him on the 8th of March. And then the other 3 that I mentioned become even more difficult. Mahomes restructures his contract, perhaps, gives you some cap room, and then they can go get aggressive. But here's the biggest thing that Chiefs fans have to think about, and why you admire teams like the Patriots, who won for so long, the Steelers, who won for so long, and that is the fact that you do not pay a guy on what he has done. That's the brutal world of the NFL with the salary cap. You pay a guy based on what you think he's going to do. There's no reward here for saying, hey, great job. You helped us win the Super Bowl. Guess what? We're going to give you a big contract moving forward. There has to be proof that that player is going to perform at that number for the next 3 to 4 years of the way the cap is structured. If not, you get into big trouble. It's where the Chiefs got into trouble in the late 2000s and the mid-2000s. Sometimes you have to make some painful decisions, and there's some big ones coming with each, but I think I got great confidence in him and the way they handle the cap.
Byron Pringle is somebody that raised his stock this past season, and his value probably went up about $1 million a year just by this season. He made 2.1 this year. He'll probably make hopefully over $3 million to come. But have we seen the last time for Byron Pringle in a Chiefs uniform?
I wouldn't go that far. First of all, I've tried to allude, and I think I've got this point across for the last couple of years, as how valuable he is in so many ways. And it's not just, catches and yards. So I want to take Pringle on my fantasy team because he's from K-State. This is the Byron Pringle that can line up at running back, tight end, X, Y, Z. He blocks. He's the door hinge. He'll set that wink, wink, nod, nod. Oh, what a great route. Kelsey's wide open. That's an art form. Oh, he'll return a kick for a touchdown or a decent return. He's got great value. Now, that value, again, has got to equal what you think he's going to do in the future. But based on what we have seen the last 2 or 3 years, do we think that's going to diminish any time in the next 2 to 3 years? Without being biased here, we're K-Staters. But I don't see that. I mean, here's where you get hoodwinked on a Byron Pringle deal. Is some other team comes swooping in and just drops a big pile of cash on it. And sometimes a team that has cap room, your division rivals, wink, wink, nod, nod, can say, we're going to weaken you, and we'll take the door hinge and take one of your tools out of your tool chest and pay him, maybe overpay him of what the league would see, just to make that move. It's the corporate culture of, hey, I'm going to get a headhunter to get the salesperson that's kicking our butt out of there so we can get back on top. I mean, that's the same feeling here. Now, Rodney Hudson, it happened with Rodney. Remember Rodney was killing it his first 4 years at the Chiefs, great center. Here come the Raiders, drop a gazillion dollars on him. Rodney's like, I want to stay, but I can't turn a gazillion dollars. So Rodney goes. Now he's still humming along with the Arizona Cardinals, but the only way the Chiefs kind of get hoodwinked here is if somebody comes swooping in and just drops a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of money on Pringle. Otherwise, I'm not going to say the Chiefs are going to retain him or not, but I do know they know how valuable he is, and he's way more valuable than meets the eye.
With the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, so do you find yourself rooting for the Bengals on the 13th, or are you going to take the Rams?
Yeah, neither one of these teams. Riley County or Silver Lake. Let's do that. In Silver Lake, I shouldn't say Riley County. All my Silver Lake buddies will go, wait a minute, your son played quarterback here and you lived here 20 years. I somehow we got to slow down the Bengal train. I mean, that's our rival now. Not to the point of this is the Raiders, Broncos, or Chargers, but this would be like maybe OU playing for the national championship. And how many times have you rooted for them to win it all?
Not very many.
Not. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So, sorry, Bengals fans. And who ripped off who with the Saints thing? Who dat and who day?
Oh, good point. Yeah, I thought that too.
Who's first? It ticks me off because they do the same chant, even the same rhythm. I'm like, there's some plagiarism here. You get kicked out of school for this. So, the GOATs. I will take the GOATs. Aaron Donald. I just go ahead and sack Burrow 15 times if you want.
He might.
And yeah, go Goats, go.
What do you think about Washington's new name, the Commanders?
I like it.
Me too.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's cool. If you want to go deep into Commander, you can find something wrong with that name, honestly. But I pretty much like it. So, way to go. It took you long enough because now we know they go, woofed. Like woofed 7 and the Giants nothing. So, yeah, I'm good with it. I'm not a fan of dumb nicknames or boring nicknames. You guys know that. So Commanders is cool. I like it.
We do have a couple of minutes left. I was in Kansas City yesterday for the Elton John concert, and I was worried about somehow getting snowed in or, the snow affecting me from getting back to Manhattan for tonight's basketball game against Oklahoma State. So how much snow is Kansas City getting? Depends
where you're at. If you're north of downtown, not much. Way less than what they thought. 1 to 3. South and east of 10, whoop, different story. You're looking 6 to 8, like Sedalia. If you get that far east, I mean, you're looking about a foot of snow. So it's kind of depends where you drop the rock. This game against Cincinnati too. It's the Texas A&M '98 game. Sorry, this was the Chiefs' year to win it. They can win it next year, but K-State was going to beat Tennessee. They were going to bludgeon them, and I just feel like the Chiefs got back to the 1 seed. They were the best team of the 4 remaining, at least the most comprehensive, and let it slip away. But that's okay. Love this coach, Hall of Fame coach, Pro Football Hall of Fame coach, Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback, Pro Football Hall of Fame tight end. 12 wins for 4 straight years, 3rd in NFL history, 6 straight AFC West titles. That's never happened. And the fact that 4 straight AFC championship games at home, that's never happened. I'll take my chances going into 2022.
All right, Mitch, well, that's going to do it. I appreciate your time all season long, and before we know it, it's going to be training camp. So I suppose, hey, if you get bored, I guess you can call in. We'll shoot around any topic you want to, but if not, we'll talk to you in a few months for training camp. We'll be here before we know it.
And for you, I'm going to pick Silver Lake here. Okay. 1, don't pick it. And 2, I won't even go Riley County. I'll go 1 further. The Riley Wildcats or the Leonardville Yellow Jackets or the Randolph Ramblers. Let's go way back before Big Damn Foolishness and talk about DAM, not DAMN, and let's go real nicknames here. So if you got the Leonardville Yellow Jackets up against the Randolph Ramblers, baby, you better call the county police. It's going to get nasty.
God, you want to talk about before my time. Mitch, hey, man, I appreciate it. We're up on the clock here, so we'll talk to you soon.
Got it. Go St. Xavier. They're the Rams, too. Go for them. Go.